right, so we have two lovely folks in the house, Candy Campbell and Steve Doherty, and we're going to talk about March of Dimes, and we're going to talk about nursing.
Well, first thing I want to say is, thanks again for having us back.
It's our pleasure.
This weekend on Saturday is another local March of Dimes, March for Babies walk. And it's in Santa Rosa, which I guess is not too far. That's the closest one right around here.
No, it's not too far.
It's not too far.
Not
I think
too far.
The one in Sonoma isn't until June. But just wanted to be able to let folks know that the March of Dimes is doing their thing. And every year they are the money that they raise goes for research. And the statistics are in for 2007. California traditionally is doing a little better than the United States overall as far as prematurity prevention and things like that. But still, as far as a report card, we got like a D, C minus D.
I mean, that just boggles the brain in 21st century America. And my middle daughter just turned 32, and she had her birthday last week, and she was a preemie.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, and we had a home birth, and so it was quite exciting.
And how many weeks? 36 or something, did you say?
6 weeks early.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
But, she had a little jaundice, and now she's just beautiful.
Yeah. We've come a long way. I started as a neonatal nurse in 1989 when we were not saving any babies less than 28 weeks, and then to not very good effect. And then over the years, now just recently I was privileged to care for a set of twins in the hospital where I practice at still 2 days a week. And these babies were twins, and they were less than 500 grams. They were like 310 and 320 grams at birth. Yeah.
That's less than a pound. Wow.
Yeah, really, really small. And that's a testament to the medical technology that we have now. But about your comment, Ken, about it is amazing that we have such a problem when we can put people on the moon and have space satellites and do all the amazing things that we do. One of the reasons, of course, there's some big factors involved, and one of them is, of course, the in vitro or artificial reproductive technology that, with women waiting longer and longer, let's face it, even eggs that you buy in the store have an expiration date.
Yes.
And, we're kind of playing with Mother Nature
I
a little
love
bit.
nurses. Just put it out there, right?
No, they do.
No, I mean, it's the truth, right?
It's absolutely true. And to what degree is, again, issues around prenatal care have a relationship with premature birth?
The more we learn, the more we realize that it is a process that does not start once conception takes place. It's preventative. In fact, that brings a whole nother discussion about how important the parts of the new Obamacare Act are, because they emphasize the fact that we need preventative care, and there are things in that bill that put in place what your sister is doing, for instance, and giving nurses more power to create clinics. Not that they don't have the power now, but it's there's some federal matching funds that will be available. And from a public health standpoint, it's hopefully going to make a big, big difference, because that is quite a problem.
Right. Is there a relationship between premature births and economic status as well?
Yes, there is, although it's an interesting thing when you look at the statistics. And for anybody who's interested, you can go on March of Dimes has a wonderful website. If you go on to marchdimes.com and then click on professional, because it'll ask you which section you want, and then you go to Perry Stats. Then I brought up a bunch of statistics last night. I didn't think you'd want me to ramble them off. But overall, the interesting thing is that California, as I said, is doing better than the nation. But as a nation, there's kind of two groups of people that have problems. And one is a socioeconomic group that is not getting prenatal care, that's not necessarily taking care of their bodies. Mm-hmm. The other is the older moms who may be taking good care of themselves then, but again, they're older, their body's older, and we're pushing the envelope.
And when you say older, you mean over 40?
I mean over about 35. Okay. Let me give you some examples. When we as women are born, we have approximately 300,000 eggs. Mm-hmm. By the time we're 30, we're down to thousands. By the time we're 35, we're down to hundreds. And after that, fewer than, not very many.
Oh, yeah. My wife was 45 the last time she got pregnant. Mm-hmm.
Miracles do happen.
Mm-hmm. One question about the March of Dimes, because the March of Dimes, of course, has evolved over the years. When I was a kid, of course, the March of Dimes was focused on polio, and that's how I remember it as an organization that was really into polio prevention and treatment of polio and things like that. But of course, now that polio is not the scourge that it was, in fact, it's almost disappeared 100%, if not 100%.
And a big thank you goes out to Rotary International. That is a dedicated arm of Rotary International to eradicate polio throughout the world, not just in the United States, but everywhere.
Right. So it evolved into being more focused on pregnancy and birth and things like that.
Indeed. 2003 is when they had the big, newer campaign to eradicate prematurity, because then the statistics came in to say, speaking of polio, that prematurity in this country is as prevalent now as polio was before the Salk vaccine. Yeah, so it is a big deal. Right. Again, man-made manipulation has something to do with that, but nevertheless, a problem.
Yeah.
Anytime you guys want to come back on, just let us know. We'd love to have you on. And tomorrow, Becky Ziskowski at 9:30, and she's going to talk all about the event at the Developmental Center.
Awesome. Excellent. All righty, and so we'll be back. We'll be back in just a little while.